Oh, hi, you loves. I'm back. My name's Paul and I run a homemade fudge fundraiser called One Box of Fudge. I live in Gosport in the UK and my YouTube playlist is just something that I wanted to do to accompany my brand new recipe book called One Book of Fudge, Make Homemade Fudge from the Heart. And this is available to download on Amazon in paperback, hardback, and on Kindle. And I've been trying to build a TikTok, loves. No idea what I'm doing with it because I wanted to be able to go live on TikTok and do live cook. And then one of my friends just suggested that I do it on YouTube, and I thought, yeah, why not, loves? Why didn't I do that in the first place? So here we are. So I hope you've been finding my other fudge videos useful. I'm going to build this playlist over a period of time when I am making fudge for those orders. And today I am making a fudge called Seven Wonders. So this actually isn't in my recipe book, but it's going to be in my second one, which is coming, called Absolutely Fudgeless. And this recipe is a white chocolate condensed milk fudge, which we haven't done any of these yet. So this is the first one I'm doing, and it's very, very easy to make and a lot quicker than making the traditional fudges. So I thought I would just do it in real time, film the whole thing so you can see how quick and easy it is. So the ingredients you need is 500 grams of white chocolate, 4 different colours that you're going to colour the white chocolate with, a tin of condensed milk, a bowl, spoon, scales. You need to get your 9-inch tin ready. You know how I love a 9-inch, loves. Swear by 9-inch tins. And all of my recipes have been scaled to use the tools I use. So if you're going to use a smaller tray or a bigger tray, you will have to adjust the recipe up or down. So everything I show you will be so you get a good size fudge that fills this tin, and that will give you 36 chunks of fudge. So the first thing we're going to do is, obviously you've got 4 colours, and what you're doing is you're dividing your 500 grams between 4. It's called Seven Wonders because it's named after my favourite Fleetwood Mac song. But doing 7 colours to fit this size tin, you could do it, but you would just need to use more chocolate and more condensed milk. And you can, yes, you can scale it up or down in that way, but this amount of ingredients will do 4 colours in this size tin. If you try and split it between any more, it won't work because it won't cover the surface, because what you're looking for is 4 separate layers. So when you cut it, you can see the 4 different colours, and that's what you will get with this amount of ingredients. So it's roughly, 500, say 125 grams of white chocolate and 100 grams, well, just under, about 98 grams of condensed milk. Obviously go easy when you're pouring, knowing that this has got to go 4 times round. And then pick your first colour. Doesn't matter what order. I'm going to do green. Now I use these Pro Gel food colours because I like an intense colour, but you can get other food colours, and you'll get to know sort of how much or how little of that food colour you'll need to put in. So I'm going to do it in the microwave. So I have a 850, no, I have an 800 watt microwave. So again, if you've got a more powerful microwave, you'll have to shorten the time. With white chocolate, its melting point is higher than milk chocolate. If ever you're using a milk chocolate, only ever do it in a microwave, 800 watt microwave in 1 minute bursts, and always stop and check it. If you do it longer, it will burn. With white chocolate, you can do it in 2 minute bursts. For this recipe, for this amount of chocolate, within a minute to a minute and a half, it will be completely melted. So you can either do a 30-second burst and stir it, or do what I do, where I do 1 minute and see how it is. You can probably see the steam coming off in the video. You don't need a wooden spoon actually to stir this. You can use whatever you want. So this is actually melted really well, but what you've got to remember is it's got to be melted enough so you can pour it and it's going to cover the base. So I'm going to do another 30 seconds just because I want it really, really runny. If you don't do it runny enough, what's going to happen is when you go to pour it and spread it, you're not going to be able to cover the surface of the tin, and that's obviously your main aim. You've got to get a clear layer of each colour for it to look effective. So it's simple in terms of the ingredients, but in terms of the visual you're creating, this one is a bit more difficult. Obviously be careful when you're using a microwave and a microwavable bowl. Obviously it's got to be a microwavable bowl because you don't want to grab it and burn yourself. At this point I've got asbestos fingers, as my little old mum used to say, so I'm quite happy picking it up and picking it down. So can you see the pour? So it's really runny. And I'm pouring that into my tin. And then you've got to work really quickly because what you want is a complete layer covering the whole base of your tin. So use the back of the spoon to be able to do this, but work quickly while the chocolate and the condensed milk is runny enough. Right, so that's one layer done. So you can see there, one layer done. Don't ever be tempted to be mega organised and use 4 bowls, split the mixture out and do it like that, because what will happen is if you add another layer of chocolate onto that straight away and you've not given it enough time to set, then what will happen is as you go to spread it, the layers will merge and you'll end up spreading the bottom one. So what I do to give it a rest in between is, that's why I only use 1 bowl, because then I wash up, get your sink of hot soapy water ready, get your rubber gloves and everything ready, and then wash up that same bowl, and obviously make sure you're washing it up properly so there's no colour left in there. And by the time you've washed up and dried this bowl and then melted the next lot, that layer will be set enough for you to not mess it up. And I know that probably sounds really simple, but talking from experience, this is one that's very easy to rush. If you were mega organised like I am, you'll go, right, get it all, split it all, and then you'll rush it, and you'll mess that layer up. And I did that once, and then I learnt my lesson, and I thought, no, don't need to rush it. So let's wash it up, and that gives it enough time. So I've done the green layer, so I'm going to do the yellow layer next. And again, get your white chocolate. Now you'll see I break the white chocolate up. You don't have to do that, but I do that so it makes it quicker. And I'm going to add 100, well no, about 98 grams of condensed milk. I always use the top of the lid to sort of stop the pour of the condensed milk. Going for yellow. So I always give it a good squirt because I like the colour to be strong. And I love a good squirt as well, loves. Give it a good squirt. You always want a good squirt, loves. For a strong colour. Some food colourings can be quite muted, so you will have to try your brands, and I've just found that the Pro Gel brand, which you can get from Home Bargains in a pack, is the best brand for me. So I've put that in the microwave again for a minute, but again you can do it for 30 seconds. And you're just looking for it to be runny. If it's not running, it is going to cause you issues. So even if after a minute and a half, if it's not runny enough, put it back in for like an extra 10 seconds, keep checking it. And then when it comes out, give it a good stir. You can probably see the smoke coming off that one as well. Now, yellow food colouring is just like the best. The best instant, if you ever want to give yourself an instant boost, make something. Get my book and make the lemon meringue fudge and add a tiny, tiny bit of yellow food colouring. Don't need a lot. But it's a colour, it's my favourite colour. It gives you an instant boost. So of course you can't have a rainbow inspired fudge and not have yellow in there. Originally I had blue in this, but blue, didn't like the blue, so I took the blue out and switched it for the green. And it's really random, but you'll know what colours you're drawn to and go with those. Because the blue, I kept looking at it going, not happy, it's not right. So this is now ready. And again, be careful taking your bowl out because it will be hot. So now this is really runny. You can hear the sloshing sound. We love a good slosh. When that's really runny, grab your bowl. Careful you don't burn yourself. Pour. Use your spoon to get everything out of there. Pour into the centre and then fan it out with the back of the spoon and do it as quick as you can, as gentle as you can. As you can see, I'm sort of twisting the tray as I go round. Be delicate. Be as delicate as you can, because this is one where you'll get the payoff. So you can see now, I've got the yellow layer. Wash up your bowl. Now it's obviously June, which is Pride month. And so every year since I've done one box of fudge, I've always done a Pride Fudge. The first year I just did white chocolate, and each box had different colours, you know, different colour pieces. Each piece was a different colour. Last year I took my Matty Moo recipe, which you can find in my book, which is white chocolate and Oreo biscuits. And again, I did, you know, to get one box, I made 6 batches and coloured each batch a different colour. And then each box had 2 pieces in. Did that last year. Then this year I thought, I'm going to do white chocolate, but I'm going to do layered fudge. And as I say, it's really, really easy to do, really effective. And yeah, it's just a nice visual moment. So if ever you're having a party, this is a simple one you could do that has the wow factor as well. As you can see, it's very, very easy. So I'm going to leave you there. You get my process, and I'm going to come back to you. Right, love. So I've done my 3rd layer, which is my orange one. Hear that sloshing sound. So that is ready to pour. Even the pouring bit, don't do it too slow, because otherwise you'll find it's set before you've spread it. So you really have got seconds, but pour in the middle and then quickly turn round. There you go. So that's the orange layer. Now I'm going to do the final pink layer. Right, love, so I'm back with my final layer of pink. So pour and then spread quickly. What you might find with this last layer is, because you're using up the last of your condensed milk, you might find this last layer is a bit thicker when you pour it, but as long as it's melted enough, it will still pour and you will still spread it, but you just got to be quick. You got to be quick and just don't spread it if it's not melted enough. So if you think, oh, you know, I've put a little extra in the others, not enough in this, that's fine. But the key is that it's melted enough. So there you go, love. So that is your Pride fudge, your 7 Wonders fudge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the fridge now, and it's going to take between 2 to 3 hours to set. When it's set, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you chop it. So I'll see you soon, loves. Oh, hi, you ducky loves. So I have been to the cinema to see The Salt Path, which if you haven't seen it, I wouldn't recommend it because it's absolutely beautiful, but there is hardly any of the dialect and story from the book. So I wouldn't recommend it, loves. But anyway, it was nice to be in aircon because it is currently 26.5 degrees outside. But it was nice to be in the aircon, and also it gave time for my 7 Wonders fudge to set. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like. So that you get an idea of why taking the time to do it is worth it. So there you go, loves. That is what it looks like. Yay! I hope you enjoyed making this video. My name is Paul, and my fundraiser is called One Box of Fudge. And if you enjoy making fudge, then please like, comment and subscribe. And also buy a copy of my book, One Book of Fudge by Paul Lees. And enjoy. And happy Pride Month, loves.